What's good, fellas? What happens when men who have the money, status, the big contracts, access to plenty of women, still find themselves in a mental health crisis? Because that question and the answer to it should make all of us pause. Recently, there have been several high-profile conversations around mental health in professional sports. Philadelphia 76ers guard Paul George was suspended after violating the NBA's anti-drug policy and later indicated that the situation involved medication connected to a mental health issue. In the NFL, there have been multiple tragic deaths in recent seasons that have renewed serious discussion about player mental health. More recent coverage also noted that wide receiver Rondell Moore's death was reported as a suicide, which led other players like A.J. Brown to publicly speak about mental health and the pressures that a lot of men carry. Now, here's why this matters. The internet and the manosphere keep telling men that if you just get your stacks up, that you can dominate and that everything will be good. But we're hearing and reading about men who had these things and yet were still struggling. Now, I know that there are those out here who will simply chalk this up to weakness, but what it really shows us is that hitting performance-based identity markers is not the same as being strong or being whole. The manosphere often reduces masculinity to external markers, the wins, the women, the hierarchy, your bank account, and genetics. But this mental health crisis that we're witnessing reminds us that when your identity is built on performance, it becomes nothing more than a paper tiger, visually strong, but with no substance. And this happens because when your value and worth is tied to your output or your image, there's no safe place for you to simply be human. But the Bible never reduces a man to simple biology or status. It speaks to an identity anchored in something deeper than public image or success. And this video isn't about attacking anyone. It's about asking deeper questions. Like, are these performance-based identities building men who just perform well, or men who are actually whole? Because strength without inner formation will eventually collapse under pressure. And isolation, gentlemen, and not talking about what's really going on the inside is not the answer. And neither is trying to perform better. And that's why here at the H.A.T Club, we believe that it's only by having an identity firmly anchored in what God says and thinks about you that will ultimately produce the kind of man that you're actually desiring to be. Until next time, you know what it is. It's the H.A.T Club, baby. Real men, real faith, real change. Holler at your boy. Peace.